Hello and welcome to Let's Be Real. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Sam Raimi and how he wants to direct Avengers Secret Wars. We're going to be talking about Craig Gillespie, and he is going to be directing the DCU Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. He's previously done I, Tonya and Cruella. Julia Gardner, she'll be playing Shalla-Bal, who is a female Silver Surfer from the comics and will be in the Fantastic Four. That's right, a female Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four. Nain's favorite actor. He wants to be Batman so bad, he's going to shout it from the rooftops. And of course, we're going to talk about the biggest news from today, and that is the fact that Dune Messiah is in development with Denis Villeneuve attached to it. That is the third movie in the Dune trilogy. And we're also going to be touching upon his next film after Dune that will be done. It's about nuclear warfare, so as I like to call it, it is basically Oppenheimer 2. And then we're going to cap things off on this show today is a Victor off the picture. I'm not going to give too much away about that, but that's going to be a ton of fun, so stick around to the end. That's what we're going to be doing there. I'm James, that's Nain, and we're coming to you from Australia and New Zealand. Before we jump in, we just want to say a thank you to everyone who has been watching us lately. I know that we are small and we're starting this whole video podcasting thing, but I say it every time and I'm going to keep saying it. If you have suggestions, ideas, if you want us to do lists, rankings, anything like that, please comment below because we will do that. We want to be able to involve you guys and do more stuff like that. So please comment below of anything that you want us to do. Otherwise, Nan, I say we just get straight into it, all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so Sam Raimi directed the OG Spider-Man trilogy and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And he's wanting to direct Avengers Secret Wars, which is perhaps one of the biggest, if not the biggest, movie in MCU history. And so what he said is that he hopes to direct the movie. He hopes that they ask him to do it. And I remember late last year, there were rumors around Sam Raimi being a potential director for this movie. So straight off the bat with this one, do you want him to be directing Avengers Secret Wars?
It's difficult because if Multiverse of Madness didn't exist, then it would be a hard yes. Now, don't get me wrong, Multiverse of Madness is it's decently, he did a good job with it. It was just, I think it was studio involvement and script and poor decision making that ruined it. So I'm a little bit fearful that might happen in this as well. Fingers crossed it doesn't, because we all know how good Sam Raimi is. I mean, the first two Spider-Mans are fantastic, and the third one is a meme for a reason. So I would like to see him as a director. I reckon it'll be awesome to see an Avengers movie take on that sort of visual style that he's really good at, and that sort of horror sort of element. You know, how Multiverse of Madness did it a little bit, but I'm sure that they can go all out for Secret Wars and actually make it like suspenseful and decent horror rather than just like red smoke and scut, which be like, wah!
Well, I mean, like, I don't think I would be down for this. Like, if he's announced as the director, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, now my hype's gone or anything. But if I had to choose a director, I don't like the fact that it's Sam Raimi. I don't think Sam Raimi, he's really great in aspects of filmmaking, and particularly comic book filmmaking, but balancing characters and Secret Wars is going to have, 100 characters. I don't think he can do a balancing act with that. I mean, I've said since late last year that I think it was the directors, the two-headed snake, the co-directors for Loki season 2, I think they are the perfect balance because they've already dabbled in this universe in terms of the multiverse. I know Raimi has as well, but they've done it in a way of just balancing a lot more and having it be a really good narrative and a nice emotional payoff for all the characters, or for at least most of the characters in the film. But Sam Raimi, you are right. He brings a good visual style. Perhaps, he co-directs with it. Or, that could be a direction.
Who would you see him co-direct with, though?
I couldn't see him co-directing with anyone. I don't think he would accept such a role.
A triple threat with the Russo brothers.
Stop. You're making this worse. Even though they did such a great job with Infinity War and Endgame, I just haven't really liked much of their comics or things after that. So I don't know the correct formula to get this done. I think the issues are a lot deeper than just the director of Secret Wars, but Raimi's not a bad choice at all. If Marvel wants to be a little bit safe with their choice, Raimi's going to be a good pick. He's going to have a good a visual style to bring, and I think it'll be satisfactory to say the least. If you want it to get to a level of excellence, I just don't think he's the guy for that. I think he just thrives in a smaller scale kind of film in a way, because we saw what he did with Spider-Man 1 and 2. Really, really good stuff. Emotional, it's deep into character, and then when he goes into the multiverse and has so many characters and stuff to do, he just couldn't really bring it together. And if it's Secret Wars, there's going to be way more studio interference than something like Multiverse of Madness, in my opinion. But is anything else to add on for this one? Do you have a actual choice in like who you would choose?
Not really. I actually don't. I mean, all the good ones, they're really good with individual characters. Nolan, James Mangold, they really did those individual characters of Batman and Logan, Wolverine really, really well. So it'll be a bit hard to see how they can do multiple. I mean, obviously the easiest answer is Russo brothers, because they've done 2 already.
They've done it, yeah.
So, and we haven't really seen any film recently where there's been multiple characters that's been done well. There has been some, but it's been done pretty shit. So, it's really hard, but I think you're spot on here with the Loki directors. They're already comfortable with the material and what needs to be done. They've already dabbled in it as well in first 2 seasons of Loki, so I think that would be a safe bet.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the only guy that I would, and he's never going to do this, James Gunn. He's really good at balancing different characters and having. Yeah, I mean, like DC stole him, but I think that's all that can come to mind. But I think with Avengers: Secret Wars, Marvel's gonna have to take a bit of risk. They're gonna have to have a leap of faith in some kind of director. Personally, this wouldn't be an issue if they had used Phase 4, 5, and 6 to really build character, because they just haven't built any character. So I don't even know what the point of having an Avengers movie, because you can't really do much character work in an Avengers movie. It's where all those character arcs collide and they go in the same direction for 2 hours or 2, and they don't have any direction or anything. So again, to me, it's a much deeper issue than just Sam Raimi or another director. But yeah, no, a question to you guys. Do you guys want Sam Raimi to be the director of Avengers: Secret Wars? I've seen so much divisive opinions about this. Some people really dig it. Other people are against it. Let us know down in the comments what you think below. Otherwise, we're going to move on to Craig Gillespie, some DC news, Nane's favorite franchise. Yeah, but Craig Gillespie, he directed Dumb Money that came out last year. He's also done stuff like episodes of Pam and Tommy, I, Tonya, Cruella. And it was first reported, I think, by Variety and Deadline, one of those two, that he was in talks to direct Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. That's the one in the DCU universe, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the next movie after Superman Legacy to be released from that universe. So yeah, and then Hollywood Reporters come out and said, no, he is going to be directing it. So he joins James Gunn, James Mangold, and Andy Muschietti as directors in the DCU now. And James Gunn said, for this character, it's just going to be how we've seen Superman, sent to Earth. He's had loving parents this whole time, but Supergirl's experience, it's going to be, she's watched everyone around her die, and then, she comes to Earth when she's 14 years old. So you're going to get a very contrast. It's going to be a very strong contrast between those two characters, and we're really going to see and explore that in this universe. So, Nayan, you've seen most of the stuff I referenced for Craig Gillespie here. Is he the right director for this? And are you excited to see what they can do with Supergirl in this universe?
Yeah, I am. I haven't seen Dumb Money, so I can't comment on that. But I, Tonya, definitely have, and that's a fantastic film. And Cruella as well. I've seen that, and that's a really, really good film, considering it's based on a villain, and no one thought that would ever work. It was largely part to him and Emma Stone, which is why it works so well. So I definitely think it can work. I mean, obviously, I, Tonya is probably the best movie in my opinion of his.
Yeah.
I have seen Pam and Tommy, but I don't know the exact episodes. And if you did tell me, I probably wouldn't remember anyway. But I did enjoy that one. I did enjoy that series as well. Yeah, I think he can bring something unique here. I mean, I, Tonya and Cruella are both female-driven films, so he's already has an experience in female leads. And with Millie Alcock being so young as well, I think he is a great director to, to push her to the limits to perform without being too harsh or mean or making her overperform. So I think this is a great director to push a new talent, and I hope I'm right in saying that, and I hope he does do that, and the results at the end of the day is good. But it all comes down to the script, how good that is. At the end of the day, I mean, you can have an A-tier class list of actors, the best director in the world, but if the script shit, then you got nothing. So, you got this here. I'm quite interested in regards to the plot.
It's not really a plot. James Gunn's just said this about Supergirl. I think it's just really about character. Yeah. And just talking about how you're going to see two different sides of these super people, Supergirl and Superman.
Yeah, so I wonder if she'll be a bit more like moody and aggressive, or you know what I mean? Like a bit more darker compared to...
edgy,
Which I think Millie Alcock can do well, because she was sort of that character in House of the Dragon as well, She wasn't superly positive. She was like semi-dark, not quippy, but like, she did banter good, and she was a bit dark in that as well. So I think this is one people should definitely keep an eye on, especially when more news releases as well, for sure.
Yeah, man, it's just getting me very excited for, DCU now. We're getting some really great directors. Maybe Andy Machete's not a part of that. Great. But, James Gunn, James Mangold, and now Craig Gillespie, I think they're all proven. I love what you said about how he's has experience with female leads. He is really good at getting great female performances. Now, mind you, I haven't seen Cruella, but I've heard really great things about the movie and about Emma Stone in particular. And sure enough, it's Emma Stone and Margot Robbie for these two movies. But remember before I, Tonya, man, like Margot Robbie wasn't really known as this, A-tier, really great actress. Oh, this might be an Oscar movie if she's in it kind of thing. She was in Wolf of Wall Street and other bits and bobs before I, Tonya, but I think I, Tonya really showcased her ability as an actress. And I remember watching I, Tonya, and I'm like, oh, wow, she can really act. I thought she was just going to be that next pretty face of Hollywood, but she's turned out to be so much more than that, and it's really great to see. And it all started with I, Tonya, and Craig Gillespie's direction for it. So I'm really excited. I did see Dumb Money that released last year. It was fine. It wasn't anything impressive or anything, so it's not. I don't really know how to judge this movie per se. I know that it's a competent director and not one who's had really low lows as a director. So it gives me a bit of faith that this movie is going to be something good. I mean, I've seen lots of stuff about how it should have been a female director for this and all that stuff. But I mean, I think as long as James Gunn's choosing the right people for the right job, I think that's all that really needs to be done when it comes to the directing job. As long as Craig Gillespie's direction is faithful to the character of Supergirl and does it justice alongside Millie Alcock bringing that performance and that character to life. I think that's really the only goals for this. So I hope that's the direction they've gone, and it certainly seems the way they're going to do it. So yeah, as for that last part that I said about the plot and the character, I like that, and particularly what you said about her being maybe perhaps a little bit more aggressive or edgier. I think it's going to be something cool and something we haven't really seen. I'm very limited on anything Supergirl, but I haven't seen something like that before, and I think it's just going to be cool to see Superman, a heart of gold kind of character versus one that's kind of a character that's very vengeful and angry and lacks kind of hope. I think that's going to be really cool to see how it kind of comes to terms and how it really fits into the larger DCU as a whole. But I mean, there's some direction in this universe now. I'm excited. I'm ready for next year for when it starts to get underway. Yeah. I don't want to say I'm hopeful. I cannot trust it again, man, because my excitement for DCU was beyond anything. Probably anything I've had with the MCU, perhaps, except for Infinity War and Endgame. But yeah, I was let down so hard, and you were let down more than me. So it makes it even sadder. Yeah. But to you guys are watching this segment, what do you guys think? Is Craig Gillespie the right guy for this job? Is he the one that should be bringing Supergirl to life? Is there any other picks that you had? Let us know down below. We can have a conversation on perhaps your favorite director and what they could actually do with this character. All right. Julia Garner. So she's going to be playing a female Silver Surfer called Shalla-Bal. I think I'm saying that right. Feel free to correct me if I'm not. And that is for the Fantastic Four movie, the MCU one that comes out next year in July. Now, something about the Silver Surfer character doesn't make sense. There's been debates all over Twitter about it. And Nate, I'm going to hijack this little segment from you for a little bit because I got into some nasty beef on Twitter. I don't know if you've...
I'll have a drink. you let loose. I'll pick back up.
I don't know. Have you seen all the conversations on Twitter? Like, I said one comment about this, and people were like, got so defensive. We'll get to that soon. But 48 appearances that this Shalla-Bal character has had in comic books, and Norrin Radd, the male Silver Surfer, has had 691. So the fact that they're going with this character that's barely appeared is mind-blowing. And the fact that Shalla-Bal is the love interest to Norrin Radd. So she's the empress to a planet and is the love interest to Norrin Radd. And Norrin Radd sacrificed himself to Galactus to be his hero to spare that planet. So I think when Galactus allows him to go back, I think Galactus is destroyed and there's a new Galactus, and then he allows Shalla-Bal to be a Silver Surfer alongside Norrin Radd. So how this comes to play, if they're going to completely, gender swap it, I don't know how it's going to be, or is it the multiverse and then, they meet somehow? We don't know any of that. Anyway, my whole Twitter thing was like, and this is where I really want to lead to my question to you. I was just like, because, further to this news, they also said Galactus is the main villain. Okay, and so I'm like, all right, so we have 4 new main characters to introduce. The Fantastic Family, the Sue Storm, Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm. We also now have a female Silver Surfer, and we have Galactus. That's 2 major villains or anti-hero for Silver Surfer alongside these 4. And my comment was just like, wow, they're putting everything into this. Like, how are they even going to have enough screen time to balance all of this stuff? And people just came at me like, oh, Galactus won't be a one and done. I'm like, okay, well, it says he's the main character. Or it's like, Guardians of the Galaxy, that worked. And I'm like, but Guardians of the Galaxy has main characters. That's Gamora and Star-Lord. And then, Groot, Rocket, Drax aren't main characters that need lots of screen time to really flesh out. They get that later in the series for sure. But you can't have a Fantastic Four movie where it's just Reed Richards and Sue Storm. And, Johnny Storm has one little moment in there. It has to be more balanced because it's a family. They're all main characters. This is another red flag for me. And not just the fact that I don't know what they're doing with this female Silver Surfer or how it applies to the comics. I have no idea what this movie wants to do or how it's going. It just feels like they're doing it on the go. It's another red flag for me, the fact that they just got so much stuff in here that's all new and not enough screen time. I mean, what's your thoughts on how this movie's really coming together and the fact that we got news that female Silver Surfer is joining?
So when this first got announced, we were so hyped in terms of the Fantastic Four film with no details. And we're like, yes. Awesome, like finally, Fantastic Four in the MCU, it's going to get done right. Let LFG, let's fucking go. And then as time went on, we got a bit more details, and then obviously our hype has been going like this with each detail that comes out. I mean, I know you're not a big fan of the cast. I know you are. I forgot the actor's name from the
Not at
bear.
all.
From the bear, but I think he was the one that you're the most happiest or pleasant
Yep.
about.
Ebon Moss-Bachrach.
Who plays Ben Grimm, the Thing. Everyone
Mhm.
else you're a bit iffy on, and I don't think you're that happy with Pedro Pascal.
No.
Yeah. Uh,
I like Pedro. I just don't buy it. I don't see it. Yeah.
yeah, I don't mind it. I just don't like how it seems as if he's like there should be a young group, and the fact that he's 50 odd years old, got grey hairs. Sure, yeah, Reed Richards does have grey hairs. Cool. Don't at me in the comments, but it should be someone young, that should.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty much like the next Iron Man, the Fantastic Four. They are supposed to be leading the next saga of the MCU, and now this is gonna. So I'm just all over the place with this movie, just like how this movie is all over the place. Like
It's so messy, man. Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, this isn't set in current time, 2025 MCU. It's set in 1960 or 1970 or 19 whatever. So it's not even current. So the thing on everyone's mind is, are these guys like variants, or do they somehow go from the 60s to the present day, similar to like what Captain America did? It's just weird. And then you get the thing with Galactus. First of all, yeah, Galactus is a Fantastic Four villain, but you could easily make him an Avengers level threat. Like the next Thanos that you build like one or two sagas towards, if not more, and then have another Endgame where you print $3 billion worth of, ticket sales. And they just blowing it all on this first movie. Like,
I don't get it.
yeah, that's stupid as well. And then you get to the news that you actually wrote about, Julia Garner as female Silver Surfer. I've seen her in nothing. I know she's in Ozark, and I've seen her in Ozark whenever I go down to Dad's place, and he has it on TV. Probably seen about 5 minutes or less of her. Can't comment on how she'll do in this role. I have no idea. She could be absolutely trash, or she could be absolutely fantastic. Who knows?
Yeah.
But the fact they're going with a female Silver Surfer is just an odd choice, considering you're first introducing this group, and everyone just, like you said the stats before, 48 appearances compared to 691. I can see there, and the fact that she's a love interest to the main one. So I feel what they're going to do is they're going to flip the books and have
100%.
the actual one as, so it's just weird. It is a very, very weird sort of development they're going towards this. Like, what part is female Silver Surfer going to play in this film? Is she going to? It's just I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, at the same time, what we're saying right now, it's all conjecture, like, because we just don't know how it's going to turn out. But I think these are very valid concerns, and they are valid red flags in this, just because you don't kind of get these feelings of skepticism as much with other films. My only thing when it comes to like female Silver Surfer, it's just I hope there is a real reason as to making it that character and that version of Silver Surfer from the comics, and not just doing it for the sake of doing it, because you're just going to alienate the audience. Everyone can see through it when the stuff isn't genuine. So I really hope there's a genuine reason for having, the female Silver Surfer version be in this movie, and having a compelling reason for Galactus to be there. Like, I don't understand. Like, you don't. If you're going to introduce all these characters, you don't need to have Galactus there.
No.
Like, take your time. You got plenty of time to build this up. We don't need to rush to the finish line. And the fact that, Doctor Doom's meant to be, at the very end of it, like, it's just, you're blowing your load at once, to put it frankly.
I completely forgot about Doctor Doom. Completely.
Yeah. I know. I want to see a good version of Doctor Doom. We just haven't seen that yet. I don't have faith. And, people watching this, you guys, you might, not be happy at my skepticism for it. That's fine. Like, you don't have to agree with me or Nayan. But I'm worried for it, but I really, really hope I'm wrong. Because as Nan said at the very start of this segment, we were so excited and we're pumped. We want a good Fantastic Four. But to me, and people said to me, like, oh, no more origin story. Like, everyone knows Fantastic Four story. Do they? Do they know like, they've all bombed at the box office. No one knows the Fantastic Four that well. I don't know why we keep, like, have this false belief that they're like Spider-Man or Batman in terms of popularity, that we need to scrap the origin story. In my opinion, those are the only two superheroes that can start again without having an origin story because they're that popular.
Superman as well.
Maybe. But not for a massive blockbuster. I think you need to start that one again. But yeah, people told me no origin story for Fantastic Four. I thought it was absolutely insane. Just really, really silly comments. And I'll be sure to post this segment onto Twitter so they can come back at me because there's just no defense for that. I don't think I even know their origin story. But I mean, I was saying to them, like, every origin story they've done for this group, this family, have all been bad. And they are really, like, they're very iconic characters in comic book history. Like, they deserve to be done justice by having a good origin story. Like, I think every major kind of comic book character has had at least one good origin story. Is there anyone that hasn't received one that's, like, been done multiple times that haven't had a good origin story? Maybe, even Daredevil got it, yeah.
And so we had Batman, we got it with Nolan, Spider-Man with Sam Raimi, Superman, questionable. I mean,
questionable.
Smallville was alright, and I guess that first opening scene off Man of Steel was serviceable as well. Who else is there? Iron Man, fantastic. Captain America, same. Thor, okay. No, Hulk, maybe.
Hulk, yeah. The Hulk is one for sure. But not much. These characters deserve justice. I think an origin story is probably the most important part of a comic book character's story. And if they aren't done right in any kind of film, you need to actually do that. Just my take on that one. But yeah, you guys watching, what are your thoughts on female Silver Surfer, the actual news part of what we're meant to talk about? We got massively... we went on a massive tangent on that one. But what are you thinking about this overall Fantastic Four movie? Are you like us, a little bit pessimistic? Are you seeing the red flags, or are they green to you? Have you got rose-colored glasses on? Whatever it is, let us know down below. If you're still excited, let us know and tell us why, because I need some hope for this movie. Give us hope, please. All right, Nayan, who's your favorite actor, mate?
Not the person you're about to talk about.
Well, I beg to differ, because your favorite actor, I mean, he's desperate to play Batman.
Dumbest meme ever. This is like worse than Civic. But you can carry on, and I'll explain the meme.
Please do. I got a whole speech here. Let me
okay. So, go.
All right, everybody. So Nayan's favorite actor, he's desperate to play Batman, and I'm just gonna say what he said. So it's Alan Ritchson, and I quote here: "I would love to play Batman. There, I said it. Okay, I'll shout it from the rooftops. I want to be Bruce Wayne. Here's the thing about Batman. You know what his superpower is? Intelligence. Dude is the smartest superhero there is he? He's inventive, and he's got all the gadgets, but he's super smart. I want to be that guy, and also to have a cave with hypercars, sports cars, and awesome motorcycles. I'm into that stuff." All right, so it's Vin Diesel, dude. Like, we don't want him to be Batman. But, I mean, Nan, let's just go straight to the question here on this one. Alan Ritchson as Batman, do you buy it or do you sell it?
Can I rent it?
Well, you want to try him on for one movie and then scrap him if he does bad?
Yeah, like, obviously he has a physique. He has a physique to be Superman. He has a physique to be Batman as well. But he just isn't that awesome of an actor. I mean, Reach is okay, but other than that, he's been in a few Disney Channel shows, and that's all I can think of, really. So it's... I wouldn't be excited if he was cast as Batman. He's 41 years old. I know that Batman the Brave and the Bold, he has the son Damian Wayne. But I'm more hoping for a bit more of a younger of an actor, you know. If they were to cast...
Younger than Ritchson?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
late 30s, mid-30s.
How old's he?
41, I'm pretty sure.
How do you know that off by heart?
Because when I had to make the overlays, which you guys are looking at right now, how you got Batman on one side and Richardson on the other, when I did it, I typed in his name, but I didn't hit images straight away. And then I just saw how old he was. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to use this as fuel for the goddamn podcast.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think if there is going to be an older actor that I would prefer, it would probably be Gyllenhaal. I mean, we know he's a fantastic actor. He does have that sort of, you know, not that hulking physique, but he has a good physique. We saw in Southpaw and Roadhouse, you know. It's the sort of physique you expect from Batman, you know, like an expert martial artist, which is his actual probably...
He got declined from Christopher Nolan's trilogy, correct? I think I read something very recently about he went for that role, but Christian Bale got it over him.
I think so too.
But
Either way, it would have been 1-1. I think he would have done, if not, probably not as good of a job as Bale, but he would have been a lot better than what we've got in the past. So he would probably be my pick if they want to go with an older sort of Batman. But yeah, it's just Alan Richardson. He just doesn't have the acting range. He just seems like that jock, you know. And his comments here. You know what his superpower is? Intelligence. No, it's not. It's money. And sorry, I'm just skim reading this. He also has a cave. He also has a cave with hypercars. It's a Batmobile. Sports cars. Sure, but that's not Batman's. That's Bruce Wayne's. And awesome motorcycles. It's a Batcycle for a start. He also has a Batboat and a Batplane. And then you're forgetting to talk about all of his other gadgets he has. His massive ass supercomputer. And then in the comics, he has like a T-Rex thing. It's like basically a whole museum in their Batcave. And he's just talking about, you know, the most jockiest of jock stuff you can talk about. So,
it is
so yeah.
It's like a Fast and Furious character wanting to be Batman.
Well,
and he is a Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I was about to say that. But so yeah, I'm not on board if he gets cast. I'll be a little bit annoyed if he is as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should just be a straight up rule. If you've been in the Fast and Furious franchise, you shouldn't be able to play Batman. I think that's just a safe thing to say at this point. But yeah, I don't buy him at all. I don't think I've even seen him in anything besides Fast X. Or he's just super bland as an actor to me, and nothing about him gets me excited. Sure, I hope he gets better at acting, and he can play a character like this one day. But he's not right for it, even if he's got the physique for it. But I would rather some skinny, lanky dude that could act to play Batman than someone who's just absolutely shredded. Like you obviously want someone with the best of both worlds that can do both. But I'm gonna go the better actor every single time. Also, they can work their way into shape, you know. So it's not really like a big deal at that point.
And Batman sort of needs that because it's literally you're playing two personas. You're playing Bruce Wayne and Batman, and you need acting range for that.
And yeah, you need someone who's got a little bit of class to them as well. That can really do both. You be classy, but also get a little bit bloody, get their hands dirty and stuff like that. It's a really hard balance, but we've got him pretty lucky. I mean, Robert Pattinson. I don't think you and I, prior to that casting or the film, we would never have been like, oh, well, maybe Robert Pattinson would be good. Like,
no, and
you never know.
He's a fantastic Batman too.
Exactly. So I think, you know, I've learnt to be a little bit more open-minded when it comes to these kind of castings. I mean, Ben Affleck, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
But the thing with both Pattinson and Affleck is that we've seen a lot of their work and we know that they are both good actors when they get given good scripts, you know.
Well, Pattinson had something. He had good time. That's all I think I really had to go off by that point when we first heard about that. But I saw that and I was like, oh, wow, he's a damn good actor. Like, don't judge him on Twilight, which everyone did, bro. Like, he got, you know, scolded as soon as that announcement was like, oh, him? Why would he be Batman? So I think there's there's like plenty that can be Batman. I'm super interested to see who actually gets it at the end of the day. But the fact that you have, the Brave and the Bold and the Batman all kind of running at the same time, it's just a weird thing. Just bring the Batman into the DCU. I've said that from the beginning, and that's what should be done.
100%.
Yeah. Just join them together because the Batman is just so damn good. All right, so the question for you guys, comment below. Is Alan Ritchson a good fit for Batman? Do you buy it? Do you sell it? If you sell it, let us know who else. And if you do buy Alan Ritchson as Batman, Nayan's nodding his head. And, Nayan's not biased here. Like, he loves this guy, but he's still saying no. That's how faithful he is to the character of Batman. So, if you like Alan Ritchson as Batman, comment below on why you think he should be Batman, besides the physique, of course, because that one's a little bit obvious. But if there's something that he's been in that you've thought, wow, that's great acting, do let us know because I'd be keen to see it. Okay. So the big news dropped today, Nayan. I think it's the most obvious, expected news of 2024. I don't think you and I had a doubt that this would ever not be the case, but Dune 3 is in development. Of course it is. Dune Messiah to be called, and Denis Villeneuve is going to be directing it. So, yeah, Dune Messiah in development with Legendary Pictures, and we have no idea when this is going to come out. Denis has spoken previously that he wants to take a break from this universe. Dune 1 and 2, they shot back to back. He spent 6 years in Arrakis is what he's said, so he probably wants to take a break. So this could be coming in 4 or 5 years. We have no idea when it's going to come, but hey, it's happening. It's going to be done. The second one, box office going really, really well. It's around 630 worldwide, 256 domestically, and I think it's going to head to around about 700 to 750 million, which is pretty good, especially with how the box office has been these days. So it's a really, really great achievement. There's no surprise that that a third one was going to come. And so the plot from the books is that it takes 12 years after the events of Dune Part 2, and it's, Paul Atreides as Emperor of the universe or whatever, and he's grappling with some consequences of becoming the Messiah, the Fremen, and he's got these groups and these families that are working together to, I guess, destabilize his rule as Emperor. So it's a massive time jump, so maybe it's valid to take a big break in filming. But yeah, Nayan, I know you're not surprised that this news has come around, but are you excited that, we officially got Denis Villeneuve back in Dune again?
100%. We said it in the Dune Part 2 review as well, that this is Villeneuve's baby. We can't imagine any director taking this over, not even someone as good as Sir Christopher Nolan,
Sir, love it.
I did that on purpose. That one's for you, Kyan. So yeah, Dune is his baby, it's his project, So it's good to see that he signed on for Dune Messiah and he is going to be following through with it. I think it's a good choice for him to take a little bit of a break. We'll get into it soon, but whether that's his next film, he's going to do that, and then this, I think it's a good little palate cleanser for him. Can't have a podcast without saying those two words.
Yeah, it's a nice little buzzword there. I love it.
So, and it also just, it gives him some freshness as well. He can go work on other passion projects of his and then come back to the world that he just loves so much. And it also releases Hans Zimmer as well to go back to Nolan maybe, but who knows? Ludwig has that.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, it's really cool. In terms of the plot, I have no idea what Dune Messiah is or about. I haven't read any of the Dune books. I am just purely...
I just told you the story.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about my history with this franchise, man. Shut up. God, if you let me finish talking. So anyway, James has said the plot, so just rewind about a minute, and that's the plot. But I do like how it's 12 years since Dune Part 2. So we get to see, a decade and a bit of the Z Al Gaib or whatever has done since then. End of Dune Part 2, spoiler alert, but not really because it's been out for a while already. Is that pretty much it starts it ends by starting a great war. They mention it at the end of the film. I forgot what the actual title was, but they start an actual war. So yeah, it's going to be awesome to see how that war planned out. And yeah, Villeneuve back in back in Dune is going to be great. I just hope that he gets, everyone back. Hans Zimmer, his sound designers, his cinematographers, everything, because that's what makes the first two Dunes so great. And hopefully Chalamet and Zendaya and the vast majority of the other cast can come in as well.
Yeah, you need the mains there, and obviously the whole creative team, I think, is just as important. I think, Hans Zimmer said that he was actually working on Dune 3 music already. So it seems like he has a really strong pull to this franchise as well. And, the work that he's doing in the franchise is just, absolutely incredible from a composition standpoint or a composing standpoint. But yeah, man, this is nothing but good news. There's not too much to say about it because we expected it, and we've been, talking and discussing this franchise as if he's going to continue the Dune franchise, and if Dune Messiah is actually going to be, or it's actually going to be made, and it obviously was. The box office was telling of that. As soon as it got that really good opening weekend, I'm like, okay, yep, we're getting the third one, which is good. And I'm honestly happy for Denis Villeneuve. He's gotten a good box office hit here. He's been plagued by really bad box office for a lot of his movies, so it's good to see despite making excellent stuff, it's just really great to see. So yeah, Dune Messiah, it's coming out. I have no idea when this will come out. I honestly,
12 years' time.
Pardon?
It's coming out in 12 years.
It's not Avatar, mate. No, it's not going to be 12 years. I'd just lose interest by that point. But I mean, hopefully, I think I would rather it sooner than later, personally. Just because I want to see Denis Villeneuve to move on to greater and better things. I think, and we'll talk into following Christopher Nolan's footsteps, but having your own trilogy 4 years apart for a movie or 3 years apart for a movie, I think it's a really great thing to have in your belt as a director, doing your own trilogy of films. I don't think, not all directors have them, but I think it'd be a really great thing if he can really nail this trilogy into something really special, because, we saw Peter Jackson, Christopher Nolan, James Gunn, their trilogies are really, really good, and they stand at the top of the tower when it comes to the greatest trilogies in film. So I think it's just something to get under his belt and to just do it in a consistent time frame. I don't want it, this to be done in 7 years. I think just doing it all at once, keeping that Dune momentum, man, because after Dune Part 2, I'm eager for more, and that will slip away in time. But if it's in 4 years, I'm happy. But if it's 5 years plus, it's a bit too far for me, man. I'll still be excited, but probably not as excited as if it, comes in the next 4 years, say.
Yeah.
But I mean, further to that, I don't think that was the biggest news, because this one was very unexpected. So we've got to look at not Nolan. Funny. Denis Villeneuve. That wasn't even intentional. Denis Villeneuve's next movie, and I believe I did some digging in multiple sources. I believe it's his next one after Dune Messiah. Who knows if that will actually be the way it's going to be done? But it was very loosely confirmed. So the one after it, and it's going to be paired with Legendary Pictures again. It is a nuclear war scenario. So this is based on Annie Jacobson's non-fiction thriller, and it's basically asking the question of what nuclear warfare actually would look like if it was to happen. And it's based on dozens of interviews with military and civilian experts on it. So something super interesting. And, we're going to be the first to jump to it. Oppenheimer came out last year. It just feels so much like a spiritual Oppenheimer sequel, if you must. And if it's intentional in that kind of sense, I love it. Just to see, Nolan did the prequel and Denis did the sequel. I think it would just be really cool. We won't have the Nolan jokes a part of this one name, but what are your thoughts on Denis Villeneuve taking on a subject matter like this?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, besides Prisoners, majority of his films...
Sicario.
And Sicario, besides those two films, thank you for reminding me about that, the rest have been sci-fi based or, set in sort of sci-fi. I know that there's an enemy, and that seemed pretty legit until the ending. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like Denis Villeneuve is known as a sci-fi director. He's done Blade Runner, Arrival, and then the Dunes as well. So it's nice to see him do something that's not solely based in sci-fi, and that does get that. That's the reason why I'm so excited for this, is because I'm going to get to see something a lot more different. He's branching his horizons with a different genre. The fact that it's, you said no Nolan jokes. I'll try to keep away from that. But
it's so hard, eh? Like,
I had a good zinger as well, and just for Kyan if he's watching as well. But it's all good. You said no Nolan jokes, but
no, go for it.
No, it's
like, it's so hard to talk about it without it.
No, it's too late now. But yeah, it seems to be that sort of theme, with nuclear stuff. And I guess there's just so much that you can explore in this. There's been so many atomic and nuclear weapons that have been dropped, so there's just so many that you can do. You can look at that Russian one. I forgot. It's the biggest explosion ever, or bomb ever. It's called Disaster something. They could explore that. And this, I don't think they will. You said it's based on a book. Have no idea what that book is. Or
yeah, I think it's just it's non-fiction, so it's just looking at what it really would look like. So adapting it's going to be a hard thing. He would have to obviously inject characters and narrative to it and stuff. So.
I wonder if he'll do it in like a documentary style sort of film.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if he does do that, then I'll be even more excited, because he's fully branching away from the cinematic sort of aspect of storytelling and movie making. He's going like pretty much back to basics of documentary style filmmaking. So I hope now that it is like that, because I'm so excited for that now after thinking about that. But yeah, it's pretty much anything Villeneuve makes, anything Nolan makes, it's high up on your anticipation list, because it's going to be good. They rarely ever, if ever, make duds.
Oh, 100%, man. Yeah, I'm super excited for this. Honestly, it might be my most anticipated Villeneuve movie ever. And it's not just because of the whole Nolan thing, Oppenheimer 2 and stuff like that. I just really kind of love this topic, because war is a very real thing right now. I think the world is experiencing just how real war and almost how common it is right now. And the fact that, at any given point, it could turn into nuclear warfare. So, my own curiosity wonders how that would look like, how detrimental having those devices, those weapons on our planet, how destructive they are for us, and just really exploring, stuff that can be applied to now. I think they're so important. And then when you put Denis Villeneuve in the director's chair for something like that, you not only get those questions and those curiosities answered in a way that's, emotional and thought-provoking, but you also get it as a cinematic experience, a very visual story. You see it visually, you feel it, you hear it, and you just know Denis Villeneuve is going to bring his A game when it comes to something like this, in terms of how it looks and how it sounds, and it's just going to make it even more horrifying. So I'm 100% on board for this one, man. I'm really, really excited. And yeah, the future of Villeneuve looks great. I'm super stoked.
For sure. Yeah. He is following his mentor of Nolan, for sure.
Oh, that one's that's good. Oh, maybe one day he can be Sir Denis Villeneuve.
Master and apprentice,
Oh, yeah, no, that's too funny. I mean,
that's for you, Kanye.
We don't want him to go to the dark side, We don't want this to be some Anakin and Obi-Wan kind of situation.
Yeah, we don't want him to go to the dark side. We don't want him to go to
the MCU.
Actually, he might be the only director that could save it at this point.
Nah, Scorsese. That's the crossover I need with the MCU.
That would actually be a hype.
I'd be so excited. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this segment. What did you guys actually think about this news that dropped today? I know you guys probably aren't surprised at all that he's going to be doing Dune 3, or that Dune 3 is actually happening. We all saw that one coming. But more in particular, what I want to know from you guys is his next movie, the nuclear warfare one. you guys excited for that one? Do you want to see him branch out of sci-fi? Do you think he should stay in sci-fi because he's so damn good at it? Whatever it is, whatever your thoughts are, let us know down below. Let's have a conversation about that one. All right, Nayan, new segment. Are you ready for it?
I am. Let's go. Hopefully it works.
Victor of the picture. I had to make it rhyme and somewhat make sense. So, let me explain to you how this one works. So it's based on the movies coming out in 2025, and it is our most anticipated hell, if you will. And essentially, I am just saying the movies of 2025 that you should be most anticipating. And I got 6 rows of movies, and at the first row, at the very top, is number 1. That's the one. And that's what you should be most excited for. At the bottom, I got 6 movies there, and that's basically, you should be excited for it because it's made Victor of the picture, and there are other movies that haven't made it at all, which I will get into as well. But as we go along, you'll be able to follow. But these are the movies that you should be looking forward to in 2025, and I'll try and give some context as to why you should be excited, because you guys owe this to me. I searched and searched and searched so many 2025 movies, and I made sure that they were coming out in 2025, at least at this point in time. Who knows, everything always gets delayed, but yeah, let's just dive straight into this. I'm going to share my screen with Nayan, so he can follow along. I'll edit this video so you guys can follow along with us. Nayan, can you see this?
Yes, it actually works for once.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Nayan can actually follow along. He didn't follow along my other segments that I do.
I winged it.
Yeah. Pardon?
I said I winged it. What? Okay. Never mind. Carry on.
All right. So who did not make Victor of the picture? So these are the movies that do not deserve to be on the hill, or whatever we're going to call this thing, because they're not worth anticipating. They just didn't make it. And some of these were close. Let's just get straight to it. Let's go around this picture that I have in front of me and Nayan right now. So The Bad Guys 2, Nayan was hyped about it. I still don't know if he's sarcastic or genuine, but yeah, there's just no room for it. I don't even know if the first one's good or great or anything like that, so I'm not looking forward to it all, and neither should you. Halloween Aftermath. Do we need another Halloween? I'm just putting it on here because it's a laugh and does not need to be mentioned at all.
I thought Halloween ended.
Nah, mate, they're going for more. They make money on the first weekend and then they drop 80%. All right. Pooniverse. Yes, Pooniverse. It's a real thing that's coming out. And it's a crossover event between the Honey and Pooh series where if you look at that poster there, it is Winnie the Pooh with like some chain with blood on it riding Bambi. That's Bambi. You got Pinocchio next to him. You got Sleepy Beauty on the ground. Maybe this should make the picture. I'm actually kind of excited for that now. But still, they're just so bad. I don't care if the second one or the sequel is getting good reviews. It's going to be horrible, but at least it might be a little bit entertaining. Greenland 2. It is a sequel to the movie that made COVID and lockdowns worse because Greenland sucked. Blade just needs to go, or Mahershala Ali he needs to just act, solo do it, solo direct it, mate, because stop having hope in this movie. We've just seen that it's just been, recasted for all the things. We don't need Blade. It's just a mess from the beginning, and it's gone through like 7 directors at this point. Moana, if you look at that picture there, nice little fake thumbnail I've put there. It looks like Zendaya's there.
It does.
Yeah, it does. We no one asked for a live action Moana, so we're getting that one early. That one should be... Yeah, not one to look forward to. It's considering Moana 2 comes out at the end of this year. Snow White, no, we're not anticipating that for obvious reasons. Tron Ares. Tron's one I actually considered to put on Victor of the picture, but there was just no room for it. And same with Captain America. I thought there might have been some reason to be excited for it. That's specifically Harrison Ford in the MCU, but it just seems like a little bit of a production mess now that I just don't have faith that our anticipation is going to be rewarded per se. All right, so we're going to go to the first row of Victor of the picture. Okay, what do we have here? We have Fast X Part 2. Now, this one, it deserves to be here because it is the last one. Fingers crossed that it's the last one, but it is here just because of that reason. If they do lie to us, I'm going to be very, very angry. And then we got Elio. That's the next Pixar movie. It is original, so I thought that let's have a little bit of faith. Original Pixars, they are pretty good. Been a bit of hit or miss as of the last 5 years or so, but this one could surprise if you guys go look at the plot. It's actually pretty interesting. Let's just see if it can pay off, because they did delay it by a year, so it might even look better on an animation level. I got the Thunderbolts in here. Florence Pugh's in the movie. That's why we should be a little bit excited for it, at least. But otherwise, Marvel chose the most boring characters, except for that Captain America guy and Florence Pugh's character, to be in it. The Fantastic Four, we touched on that earlier in this episode. Yeah, all red flags, so it's gone down. If I was to do this earlier, it would have been a lot higher. But yeah, just nothing good's coming from that movie or being announced, so it's very low. I have no faith in it. Then we got Ana de Armas' Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff. I had to put it in here. It was initially not going to make it, but I'm like, I love Ana de Armas. I love John Wick. You mash them together, I'm probably going to love it. I just need to see more of it before it can potentially go higher in this Victor of the Picture. And then we got the How to Train Your Dragon live action. I believe there's a lot of potential with it, because if you make it like Game of Thrones-esque, I think it can be something really cool. But I don't have faith that they're going to do that, and live action adaptations of or adaptations of animated films usually don't go in the right way. All right. Let's go to the next row. Boom, here we go. We have the untitled Avatar: The Last Airbender film that's coming from the original creators. And they left the Netflix series. Like, of course they did. I mean, has anyone seen that? But they stuck around or they left to go do this. And it's a continuation of what we saw in the TV series. I mean, you have to be excited for this. If you love the TV series, you got to be excited for it, because it's continuing these characters' journeys, these characters that we've grown to love. So I'm really excited to see what they can do. I need to see more on how it's going to look, because it is going to be a film, and it's meant to be, the first part of a trilogy. So excited to see where that can go. Next one, we got Jordan Peele's next movie, initially meant to be in 2024. I believe it was on my most anticipated for this year until it got moved. But yeah, I mean, it's Jordan Peele. I don't need to say anything else. There's nothing else about the movie other than the fact that it's Jordan Peele. That's just enough, and that's why it deserves to be on row 5 of this. Then we got The Wager. This is Leonardo and Scorsese. And do I need to say more than that? No, I don't. The Wager deserves its spot here. Ryan Coogler, news about this has been dropping recently. Ryan Coogler's new movie with Michael B. Jordan is in 5th row here. And I think it deserves it, because I've heard it's, going to take place in the, I guess, late 1800s, early 1900s. It's a supernatural thriller from what I'm hearing. Michael B. Jordan is playing twins. And it's Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler is a beast. He did, Creed 1, Black Panther, one of the best MCU movies, Fruitvale Station, and he just does everything Ryan Coogler does. It's pretty good. And the next one we got is Minecraft, and I think you should just be excited for this because of, like, what the hell is this going to be? I mean, that's the only reason that I have really kind of any excitement for it, because it's just what. Not to say it's going to be good, but I mean, Jason Momoa, Jack Black, and I've been seeing some of the sets drop recently. They are incorporating the blockiness to it, despite it being live action. So curious to see what it can look like from a visual standpoint, but I think it earns its place here. Be keen to see what Nan says at the end of this. All right, we'll move on to row 4. Boom. Look, we're closing down now. We're getting to some of the heavyweights. Jurassic World 4. Now, this has gone way higher than I should have it, because Jurassic World let me down a ton. It got worse and worse as it went on. But you bring in the OG writer from Jurassic Park. That's right, the one with Spielberg. Such a good movie. You bring him in. You bring Gareth Edwards, who can make, Godzilla look fucking huge and terrifying every single shot of the 2014 movie. Did really great with Rogue One in terms of scale. So he knows how to bring these dinosaurs to life. And then Scarlett Johansson is apparently attached to star in this movie. And, I mean, there you go. Like, you got a good writer, good director, and good star. That's like the foundation of what a good movie can be. Let's just hope it translates to a good movie. Then we got Paul Thomas Anderson's apparent event film with Warner Brothers. So this will be released in IMAX as well. Well, that's all we know so far. But it's Paul Thomas Anderson. This guy, he's a master director. He's always done great stuff. And for it to be classed as an event movie, I think that's something you have to be really, really excited for. And then we move on to the Michael Jackson movie, where it's got Michael Jackson's nephew starring as Michael Jackson. I mean, that's a really cool thing in itself, but you also got a good cast surrounded by him, and it's just one of the most iconic artists in history. And you're covering that life. I'm just really excited to bring it to screen. And then we got a Dwayne Johnson, The Rock movie. Yes, it beats Moana live action. It is The Smashing Machine. It covers Mark Kerr, UFC fighter. And that's not the part why it's exciting. I couldn't care less about that because it's Dwayne Johnson. But he's starring in an A24 movie directed by Benny Safdie. That's when you get excited. We've wanted this for so long. Maybe me and Nan, I don't know if you have or not, but we've wanted to see Dwayne Johnson to really stretch himself, really challenge himself to a very real and human role, and I think this is the one for him. It's perfectly aligned with who he is. Let's see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson really get challenged as an actor, and let's see those acting skills come to light. I'm really keen to see what he can bring to this. And obviously Benny Safdie is a great director. A24, you can always trust them. All right, third row now. Boom. You got the obvious ones now. I don't know if Nayan knows where I'm going with this, but we'll see his take at the end of it. All right, so for row 3, we're getting to the final 6 with this one. So the 3 here are Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson, Bong Joon-ho. Some people write this movie off because of the delay to work on it and stuff. This guy directed Parasite, and there's a teaser for this out on YouTube. Like, go watch it, and you'll be like, oh, wow, okay, this is going to be so good. Like, Bong Joon-ho, Robert Pattinson, it's going to be great. I don't need to say anything more than that. In fact, I might have put it higher because I'm just hyping myself up speaking those words. Avatar 3, you always got to look forward to Avatar. Maybe you're not interested in the narrative, and that's okay, but you can always know that you're going to get a great visual experience. You go see that in the biggest cinema that you can find, and you're going to have a great time, even if you're particularly not enjoying the characters or the story. So I think that's plenty of reason. And, if rumors are to be believed, they're going to be introducing fire to this now. So, yeah, we'll see if that can translate as well as water and air, or earth. I don't know what the first one would be called. Anyway, the last one for this row, Mission Impossible 8. It's the last one. I think it deserves to be very high up on this list here. Mission Impossible 8. I know me and Nayan, particularly myself, have kind of eased up on Dead Reckoning Part 1. Has not been as great as initially led to believe. So my hype for this isn't as, and it's not as great as it once was. But it's the final one from Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise is going to bring everything. You got Christopher McQuarrie at the helm. There's just still so much potential in this. And if it's going to be the final one, hopefully it's going to be emotional as well. I think there's so much to look forward to with that movie. Can't wait to see what stunts are in it. All right, we're on to the final 3 now. Let's see what's on the second row. Boom. Superman Legacy. Nayan's going to have a big smile on his face with that one. All right, DCU kicks off. Superman Legacy. We got David Cronin Sweat, James Gunn. I mean, it's exciting. James Gunn's been working on this for a while now. I think there's so much reasons to be excited for that movie, and you can be cautious like myself. I'm very cautious. I don't want to hype myself up too much because I might be disappointed because it's DC, but hey, it's James Gunn. It's just everything's looking good right now. This is the opposite of Fantastic Four. I wasn't excited for it when it first announced, but everything I've heard about it since has been great. Fantastic Four is a complete other way around. I mean, just look at the picture. That's why it's at the top here. Zootopia 2, it's Zootopia 2. Zootopia 1 is great. One of the best animated movies of the past decade, I would say. Everyone loves it. It's so lovable. There's so much to explore in this movie. There's so much potential. These characters can go. They can stretch a lot more. There's so much more story and so much to explore with the characters. You have to be excited for it because the first one was just so great. I think you can trust it. And Nayan, I want to get your take on this one before I do it. What's the last one? Who is the victor of the picture for this segment?
Let me have a look. The Batman.
Who?
Oh, wait.
Got delayed. It probably would have made number 1.
I
don't think you'll see it coming. Oh, he can't figure it out. Let's
No.
reveal this number one. Or have you got...
No. Go for it.
Go for it. All right. So the victor of the picture for this segment. Boom. It's Quentin Tarantino's final movie, The Movie Critic. Basically, me and Nayan. It's based on us. Just kidding. But it's Quentin Tarantino's last movie. I think it's going to be pretty hard to dethrone this victor of the picture. I think you just kind of have to throw a masterful director his flowers. If it's going to be his final film, if he sticks to that and owns it, you got to be anticipated for it because he is going to bring absolutely everything to this. And, you know, we got Brad Pitt as the lead actor in it. Tom Cruise is circling a role for it. I just know it's going to do good. I know a director on Quentin Tarantino's magnitude is not just going to let his last movie, you know, be average or mediocre. He's going to put everything into it. He might even put so much into it that this gets delayed to 2026, let's be real. But, yeah, Nayan, here is your victor of the picture. You got the movie critic at the top there, and then everything else filters out. What would you change from this? What should people be more excited for or less excited for based on these rankings?
I am surprised about Avatar being on the third tier. I thought...
Like higher or lower?
Nah, I thought it should have been higher. I thought, if anything, swap that and Zootopia, to be honest. I feel, you know, back-to-back $2 billion films, almost $3 billion. You know, I think
My thought for that... Sorry. You go.
You had your time to talk.
I know.
You know, like... I forgot what I was going to say. You go.
I was just going to say that it stays in the third row for now, at least for me in this segment. It could go up based on what we see, but I'm putting it on the third row now just because we've seen the jump in technology. We've seen that boost in visual effects. And sure, the third one's going to be better than the second in terms of, you know, the VFX and stuff, but it's not going to be such a big jump where that anticipation is just way higher because of it. And I don't think the story is great enough to justify a heightened sense. I just think Zootopia 2 is a safer bet for people to be more excited for. Any other changes, though?
Yeah, I'm still trying to process everything. I do agree with number one, even though that's surprising.
Oh.
To be honest, I completely thought that was going to release in 2026, if I'm going to be honest there. As soon as he dropped it, I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot about that movie, of course.
Of course, yeah. It's hidden.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised, but not surprised that Mickey 17's on the third tier. Like, I know that Bong Joon-ho has won the Oscar for Parasite, and Robert Pattinson is starting to become recognized for his fantastic acting talents, but I thought there was other, like, films here. I thought at least Minecraft would be a bit higher. That was a bit shocking. Rather than the second tier. I mean, you touched upon it before, how it's the biggest gaming franchise of all time. It's got a decent cast as well, or popular cast, should I say.
Yeah.
So I thought that would have featured a bit higher, maybe that one tier above. Jurassic World, yeah, I can see. It is a $1 billion franchise after all. I think people are sleeping on the Rock A24 film. Don't forget Emma...
They are.
Oh, what's her name?
Emily Blunt. She'll be in there as well.
She's in it
supposedly.
as well. And I think, and I hope, we get the best side of Dwayne Johnson in this. The actual actor, not the phony sort of action sort of guy to it.
Yeah.
Although he's doing great.
That's why people should be excited for that, because we are going to see that difference in acting from him.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the rest is good.
Spot on.
I probably would have swapped Fast and Furious and Avatar Last Airbender.
Oh, what?
To be honest.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Just because of you know, the previous two live action stuff has been pretty bad, and obviously people have the most recency bias towards it. And the fact that Fast and Furious is like a big of a franchise, and if this is to be the last one, I think there'll be a bit more hype for this to see how the family ends. So yeah, I would have swapped. I would have swapped those two, but other than that, yeah, it's a good picture.
Good picture. I feel like people are going to condemn me for having the Fantastic Four so low. How do you feel? Does it deserve to be that low? Should people not be as anticipated for it as they think they should be?
If that picture there was just the logo, then it'll be, I think you're stupid, because when that logo came out, we had no idea about the details of the film. So
but now we do.
I was like, nah, that should be higher up. But now we have all this information. We touched upon it before in a very long, lengthy tangent segment. So it deserves its place there. If not, it should be in the previous slide. The you didn't make it. Get out of here.
Oh, it's not there yet. It's not there yet. I think we have to give it some time. I mean, if we go to, would you have added any of those movies that didn't make it? Do any deserve to be in the bottom row or even higher per se? Or are they good?
I am just going to say Moana, just for the fact of how popular the animated version is. And then you also have The Rock returning. We all know that he's a box office draw.
But are you excited for it? Should other people be excited for it?
Oh, fuck no. I'm excited for bad guys.
All right, we got to stop. But
I don't even know why Greenland 2 is a thing. Like, that was a trash house of a fucking movie. Why is that even around? Like, there's going to be another comet event that's going to destroy the world again. Like, it's stupid. Get out of here.
It's like I said, it made COVID worse for me.
Yeah.
The entire lockdown was horrible because of that movie.
Yeah, and Blade is just drama after drama after drama. I mean, when this was first announced, it was like, Fantastic Four, like we were super hyped. How do you say his name?
Shalla-Bal.
Yeah, was attached to it as Blade, and we were like, fuck, this is going to be sick. And then news came out how he's pretty much like the fourth string character in it, in his own movie named after him. It's like, what the hell? And then, they should just scrap it. It's just take a page out of Warner Brothers' book, chuck it in the vault, lock up the key, fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, next year's going to be interesting. How'd you like the segment, at least? Victor of the Picture. Should we keep doing this segment on the show and we change it when we see, trailers, different pieces of news coming in, seeing all the changes they're going up and down?
I think this is your new box office pie segment. They always come in and...
I'll keep my pie, but I need my segments.
And now you're going to change your pictures. You're going to keep your pictures too. It's a good segment. Yeah. And obviously, we touched upon it before, Fantastic Four. If those details weren't there, it would have been way up on our high list, and then all these details that came down. So it'll be a good tracker for it. So, yeah. Yeah.
We'll probably redo it in a month and we'll see all the changes that have happened. I'll probably just do it when there's actually significant changes happening with all these movies, which I'm sure we will. There'll be delays, there'll be new ones added in, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is Victor of the Picture. And that is, what you should be excited for in 2025. What do you guys think about the segment? Did you like this segment? We always love to do these fun little things to cap off one of our Let's Be Reals, but now we got a new one here, so we'll try to do it more often if you guys like it. If you don't like it, comment below, let us know, and we'll never do it again. We won't even mention it, ever.
Or we'll tell you to fuck off.
Or that. Yeah, it depends who's on the account, me or Nan. You're going to get two different responses. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Let's Be Real. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's discussion as much as we have. And if you guys, like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate you for supporting us and engaging with us in that way. That's what we want. I know we're small. I know we're new, but we really appreciate it because it means a lot right now. If you guys did like hearing from us, be sure to like and subscribe, rate us, all that kind of stuff. You know where to find us, social media. I don't really need to say the whole spiel to you. We're also available on podcasts, wherever you podcast, whether it's Spotify or Apple. And you guys know what to do in terms of the website. We have a website where we post all things as well. Yeah. All right. Thanks again for joining us, guys. We'll catch you next time. Keep bringing the hype. Peace.
See ya.